It's game two.
Game two.
Dust Devil 2019. My name is Party on Barth.
I am Loose Change.
And we're looking forward to the Happy Valley versus V-Town bout. On the roster of Happy Valley, number 0, Omega. Number 10, Berserker. I read the other roster when we did the warm-up. Number 12, Cookie. Number 131, Kickin' Assets. Number 2113, Pearl of the Scars. 223, Valkyrie Vixen. 26, Maid Carrion. 418, Mooner. 428, Olivia Wildchild. Number 503, Hypnotic Therapy. Number 521, Gypsy Wiper Out. Number 590, Agent Orange. Number 8, Sookie Slaphouse. 801, Orange Crusher. 831, Busy Hummingbird. Number 84, Wham Bam Julianne. And number 87, Blue Raccoon.
So Happy Valley, they are skating in predominantly white. V-Town is in the gray with pink accents over there. So skating for V-Town out of Visalia, I think that's how you pronounce the town in California. I'm from Minnesota. There's weird things that happen with words and letters. But skating for V-Town Derby Dames, we've got number 11 Talia, 116 Bone Crusher, 1308 Rambo, 18 Kaylor Swift, 240 Berkey Knights, 3 is Dread, 316 is Riveter Rosie, 357 Clock Cleaner, 36 Busty Chops, 5 Rita Villain, 7 Lucky Eddie, 8 Bad Juju, 805 Zelda Fitzgerald, 821 Little Red Kaboom, 911 is Pyro Princess, and 9975 is Jim Nasty.
And we are off. Jam number 1 is started. Number 503, Hypnotic Therapy for Happy Valley, taking lead jammer, and now putting 4 points on the board up against number 11, Talia. And we've got our first penalty of the game. Looks like we're going to be having a blocker sent to the box from V-Town. Hypnotic Therapy working against the front side. Talia's got the V-Town blockers pushed forward. One more to beat for initial pass. That's good. Both jammers in scoring position. Hypnotic Therapy working against the backside of the Happy Valley blockers. Blockers hold. 2 points going on the board. Jams called off.
So that's a total of 6 up on the board for the Happy Valley, which are the Molly Morbid. I got real confused because I thought that was a skater name that they had put up there, but Molly Morbids is their travel team name.
I love that name. I'm not going to lie. On the jammer line, 223 in gray. That is going to be an official timeout.
So it looks like that is Valkyrie on the line for V-Town.
So actually it looks like Happy Valley is in the gray.
Oh.
And V-Town is in the white.
Did I do that wrong?
That's okay.
Well, that's what I get for...
It's game 2 by late Sunday. We're going to know these skaters' middle names. It's going to be fantastic.
I even have it written up here. I literally just said it wrong.
So on the jammer, so this looks like Valkyrie Vixen for Happy Valley up against Bergy Knights for V-Town in the white. 5-second warning. We're going to start with a pack advantage for V-Town, 4-2 in the blockers. Valkyrie Vixen taking a center line. About lane number 2 floats into the inside lane 1. And 240, that's Bergy Knights pushing up against the front side. A little offensive help. One more to beat. And it looks like track cut called on Bergy Knights. That's going to go ahead and give lead jammer status. Excuse me, lead jammer goes to Bergy Knights. Still got my colors flipped. We'll get it, I promise. Valkyrie Vixen's headed to the penalty box. 4 points on the board, V-Town. Knocked out of bounds in between turns number 3 and 4 is Valkyrie Vixen. Bergy Knights working the inside line. Blockers have set up toward the backside. Some offensive help springing there. A little more help.
Still a couple of blockers there, and out she goes.
Great job by the blockers, knocking on the outside on the straightaway, running back all the way to turn number 2. Both jammers back on the track. Valkyrie Vixen's out of the box. I'm seeing a forearm penalty, and that's going to go ahead and send a V-Town blocker to the box. On the track, there's a break on the backside of the blocking. Valkyrie Vixen able to come through. Just knocked out at the last moment.
Ooh.
But a forearm penalty called. Vixen outside line. Lane 4 is open. That's the initial pass. And that's the jam. Ooh, that was a big jam. Props to the blockers on that one. That was everybody got held up. Looks like 4 points going up. 4. That's 8 points total for V-Town. Puts us at 8-6 after jam number 2.
Well, looks like we've got Dread out there for V-Town number 3 going up against 831 Busy Hummingbird for Happy Valley.
Busy takes the outside line. Again, we've got 2 V-Town blockers out with a pack disadvantage. Dread pushing forward. That's lead.
Dread being held up behind those blockers.
Busy Hummingbird approaching, trying to take advantage of the lead jammer status. Takes lane 4, just able to avoid the blocks. 4 points going on the board, Happy Valley. Dread's working the inside line, floats out to lane 4. Great work by the blockers floating out. Busy knocked out of bounds, coming back, able to avoid the front part of the V-Town tripod. Tripod reforms in front. Dread still trying to push through. Happy Valley blockers are just not giving up any footage out there. And there's a direction penalty called against Bad Juju. Suki Slaphouse for Happy Valley. So Dread's got 1 fewer gray jersey in front. Some offensive help coming. Pack is in the front. Out of play, releases in the back. Dread, though, knocked out of bounds. Recycled back by Cookie.
So we basically have 2 little mini packs going on, and they have actually flipped positions. What was in the back is now in the front, and vice versa. 1 less blocker there for Happy Valley to beat, and beat she does for 4 points.
V-Town, though, what I'm seeing from their blockers, they are not afraid of one-on-one blocking. That could make for a very, very long game. There's Busy one more time. Come through, just knocked down. And that's 2 minutes. It's up to that 2-minute jam. That looks like 12 points up for the Molly Morbids. No points for V-Town on that jam.
18-8. Just getting to this, we've got Kaylor Swift out there for V-Town with a star going up against Mooner for Happy Valley.
Got 1 blocker each in the box. So we're going to have a 3-3 pack. Mooner approaches on the outside, while Swift comes out inside, outside. Great lateral movements, but just knocked out of bounds. Mooner trying a little lateral movement as well, outside, inside, just knocked out of bounds to the inside of the track. Mooner taking down 2 V-Town blockers, 1 more set of hips. That's lead. Happy Valley.
As Kaylor Swift not too far on the heels as well as she cleared that initial pass.
Pack picks up speed coming through. Mooner calls off the jam as Kaylor approaches the blockers. We're seeing 1 point going up and 1 point. 1 point each on that pass.
So these are teams that are ranked 66 and 75. I obviously already wrote stuff down wrong. So Happy Valley, I think, is 66. V-Town, right, I think, is 75. So 2 teams that are ranked very close, and you can, we have a 10-point difference. That was a net of 0 in that last jam because they both got 1.
Good back and forth motion there by the teams. On the jammer line, we're seeing Riveter Rosie up against Hip Knocket Therapy for Happy Valley. And that's lead jammer, V-Town Derby Dames. Riveter approaching, pack split. That's the jam called. We're going to see 3 points going up for the V-Town Derby Dames.
Riveter Rosie calling it off and literally just sliding right into, if there was people there, she would have taken out a few folks.
Get the points and get off the track. On the jammer line, we're seeing Talia up against Valkyrie Vixen. Happy Valley pivots standing in the penalty box, so we should have all 80 wheels on the track in a moment here. Talia with a little bit of offensive help approaches the tripod. There again, we're seeing Happy Valley had a brace too, but not able to hold lead jammer, V-Town.
Second lead jammer status for V-Town in a row now. With that 7-point differential.
Great inside-outside move by Valkyrie Vixen. Springs for initial pass. Approaches. Talia takes the call from the bench. Calls off the jam. 4 points going up for the white jerseys of V-Town.
21 minutes remain in this first half. The V-Town Derby Dames sitting at 16 to Happy Valley's Molly Morbitz at 19.
On the jammer line, we're seeing Busy Hummingbird up against Bergy Knights.
A little bit of a scrum start there with the pack real thick, but it has spread out once they hit turn 2 a little bit. Both jammers cleared that initial pass, but it is V-Town with lead jammer. That is Bergy Knights.
Pack picking up speed, all the blockers trying to protect their point. V-Town calling off the jam, Bergy Knights calling off the jam. No points on the board. So good work by the blockers. They're making sure nobody was in scoring position for both teams. 2 points.
2 points, actually. Yep, so 2 points did end up going to V-Town. Happy Valley stuck with the 0. So we have a 1-point game now, 19 to 18.
Love it. Nice and close going into jam number 8 with Mooner up against Dread on the jammer line. Mooner again with that great lateral movement, trying to break something to get that tripod to slip. But Dread using a strength push, going right up the middle, picks up lead jammer, V-Town.
4th in a row there for V-Town lead jammers.
And a power jam for Dread. Mooner just barely, toe stop slipped out right here at turn number 4. Had great sight on it for the announcer table. That's going to be a power jam. Dread puts up 4 points. And 30 seconds as sole jammer.
And with that, we have a lead change. You know what that means, right?
Raise your glasses, take a sip of water.
You got it.
Especially out here in the Tucson desert. Want to make sure you're hydrated. Dread pushing up against the brace 2. One set of hips pass, knocked out of bounds. But that's going to be a multiplayer block. That's a heartbreaker. Dread was in front of the blocker, not in front of the blocker who got called for the penalty. So Dread saw the penalty for the multiplayer, stepped back on the track, but was not behind the legal skater who's still there. So that's going to be a switch. We're going to go 2 minutes here with no lead jammer on this jam. So Mooner trying to take advantage here. Looks like 4 points up already for V-Town, possible pocket points. But Mooner's going to go ahead and try to take advantage, put some points on the board. For Happy Valley, pushing through one more. Last one to beat. There we go. Initial pass is cleared.
RollerCon penalty blocks has been emptied now, so we've got all skaters back out on the track.
Mooner with the toe stop hop on the inside line. Just knocked out of bounds. Smart move by Mooner. Not sure if that toe stop had gone out. So to avoid the track cut, recycles back, but 2 minutes through, that's the jam.
So, as things are updated, so it looks like V-Town is picking up 7 points. Happy Valley picked up 4. So, I mean, again, we are seeing a very tight, it's a 2-point game right now, 25-23.
Credit to the blocking all around on both teams here. The Jammers are having to put a lot of work in, and especially on a 3-day tournament. That's going to really add up.
This is day 1, bout 2. So if you can imagine the type of intensity that they're going to have to bring for the rest of the whole entire weekend, these are going to be some real tired friends.
And on that note, we had Hypnotic Therapy up against Kayla Swift on the Jammer line. Hypnotic Therapy able to pick up lead, but is in the rear position. There's no clue or no question what's going to happen here. Hypnotic calls off the jam. And it looks like 2 points, though, picked up by V-Town. So that's going to get just a little bit of distance, literally 4 points. That's a pass. Lead for V-Town, 27-23, going into jam number 10. And on the Jammer line, Valkyrie Vixen up against Riveter Rosie. Looks like Happy Valley's got 1 pivot sitting in the box, so a slight pack advantage. But again, both teams are not afraid of having one blocker or a brace 2, able to hold the Jammer. It's worked so far. But as I say that, Valkyrie Vixen, nice reformation again in front, and that springs Riveter Rosie.
Both Jammers cleared that initial pass, and now it turns into some fast footwork and a little bit of a foot race amongst the pack to see who can get where as both of them are coming in, and it is called.
Just unable to, Riveter Rosie not able to get hips in front. Did meet the blockers, but yep, 0-0, double aught.
I do not envy the job that these officials need to do, because from my perspective, I thought she was going to pick up a couple of points.
It's one of those good old things about we're able to sit and enjoy, but we can't see the points. And we will get into our officials in just a moment to thank them and recognize them. On the Jammer line at the moment, though, Talia versus Busy Hummingbird. Hummingbird taking the outside position, immediately met by the V-Town blockers. Talia goes to the inside set. 2 whistles going. We've got a multiplayer block, so it looks like we've got one of each blockers is going to go to the box, but that's going to spring Talia for lead jammer, V-Town, Derby Dames. Outside line, nice move by Talia, able to put up 4 points on the board. Pack's still moving. Everybody's trying to protect their points. Busy's approaching. Talia calls off the jam, able to avoid any points. No points on that pass. Looks like a 5-point jam, 4-point jam. Can't get used to saying 4 points at all. I heard you guys in the last bout, too.
I mean, they can try to teach announcers new tricks, but it's just going to be weird.
Just keep looking for that thumb. I want that 5th point. On the Jammer line, Mooner up against number, let's see, that's a written one, 248, I believe. Bergie Knights, there we go. Shout out to Frogmouth and Armbands. Few penalties getting called in. It looks like we had a failure to exit the track, so that's going to be 2 penalties for the V-Town blockers in. Everybody's coming through. Track cut called, so this is going to be a power jam and lead for Mooner, Happy Valley. So this is something we saw at a tournament I was at last week and out at Clover Cup. That question again of exiting the track fast enough, those double penalties can really come back and bite a skater getting 2 by just not getting off the track quick enough. So we're going to see if that plays into it later, but no concern whatsoever by Happy Valley Jammer, putting 4 points on the board and approaching. Here come more. Power jam is up. Mooner is through. 4 points going on the board. And Bergie's back on the track. Inside line. Tripod reforms in front. Bergie tries lane 4. No luck. Mooner back on the track, tries inside lane 1, pushed out of bounds, recycled back.
Good track awareness there by Mooner as she tries to come back. Actually, comes back in front, takes herself back out again to re-enter the pack behind the person that hit her out, and then decides to call it off.
Smart move. If you're not sure who was in front of you, make sure you come in behind them, everybody.
So that was another 13 points on the board now there for the Molly Morbits out of Happy Valley, which means we've got another lead change. V-Town at 31, Happy Valley 36.
Drink up. On the jammer line, Hypnotic Therapy picks up lead. Dread coming out for V-Town Derby Dames. Both jammers in scoring position. Hypnotic's approaching, trying to put points up. Passes a few hits, calls off the jam. That's going to look like 2 points. V-Town. Happy Valley, excuse me. Getting my jam reps flipped now.
Kaylor Swift out there with the star for V-Town, and that is Valkyrie Vixen going up there for Happy Valley.
Looks like we've got all 80 wheels on the track. RollerCon penalty box is empty. And here we go. Kaylor Swift coming from the inside to the outside. Nice lateral move. Avoided all the blockers. Lead jammer. Fantastic blocking there. Is that number 420 maybe? 428, Olivia Wildchild got beat, came around the curve on the inside faster, able to reform in front. That pressure sprung the other jammer. No points going up for either team. That's the kind of heads-up play you want to see from your blockers.
V-Town paying close attention to the bench staff. Meanwhile, we've got Bad Juju. Suki Slaphouse for Happy Valley with the star.
Up against Riveter Rosie.
So this is Suki's first time jamming.
And well done as well, because that's lead jammer, Happy Valley. Suki trying to work against the center of the line. Nice little toast of the apex hop on turn number 2. 4 points going on the board for the gray. Front side, Riveter Rosie springs with the lane 1 shoulder block. Reapproaching pack a little bit. Call comes out, call the jam. 3 points on the board, Happy Valley. So that should be a 7-point jam if my math is correct in my head. And yes, I was able to keep up with the NSOs on that one.
Busy with the star out there for Happy Valley. And Talia for V-Town. Oh, that was a...
Looks like an official timeout. So as we take this official timeout, I want to go ahead and recognize our officials for this bout. Top-notch crew that we're seeing here, making sure everybody is safe. We've got Ultraviolet Blue, Snapdragon, D. Molly Shore, Needle Fury, Jenny Fear, Snarkimedes, Extra Crispy, Zoonotic, Pat Sweeney, Catastrophe, Nitsuki, Danger Muffin, Dillygaff, Graffy, Jose Conscato, Noah Fallon, X-Ray Ted, and Fibonoko.
So, just a quick update. The reason for the official timeout is there was a penalty assessed to the Happy Valley jammer Suki. So Suki right now is in the penalty box for Happy Valley. And then Happy Valley also calls for an official review. So that is currently where we are at. Don't know if we'll ever find out about that official review or what it's being talked about.
Yeah, I think we got an alt ref here. We should go ahead and get the official review in a moment here. But it looks like Happy Valley's captain and coach have put the call into the zebras, so they've got it into the center. And for everybody watching on YouTube, hello. But also, if you notice, the announcing might be a little different than what you're hearing. We are the in-house feed and the production feed. So our announcing is going to be done as an in-house style. So we're going to do our best to not go giving away anything on the mic. Don't want to be coaching anybody. Don't want to be telling the teams what's going on out there. We'd rather not pull for either team if we can help it. looks like the review has come back. So it looks like Happy Valley was requesting that the penalty be overturned so they could get their jammer back out. The official review said nope, so the official review is lost. And Talia is going to be starting out for a power start for V-Town.
Talia being able to find that inside line, clears it, picks up lead jammer status there by turn 2.
Way to take advantage of that 30-second power start. Picks up lead, and it looks like Pearl of Scars with a solid shoulder hit. However, not legal, headed to the box. So Talia approaching the inside. Nice pivot spin on turn 2. 4 points on the board. Guess who's back? Suki with a great toe stop work on the inside of line 1. Had the star in hand. Called on a track cut. Power jam. V-Town.
Talia picking up another 4 points, looks like. Thus far, Talia has been able to... The first jam of the bout, she did not pick up lead jammer status. Ever since then, every time she's had the star, guess what? She's been lead.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to get the bug out and get that streak going. Fantastic work by the Happy Valley blockers trying to kill this penalty against Talia, holding their tripod in front. And Talia taking the call from the bench, calls off the jam. Looks like just in time that Happy Valley's jammer was released, so Suki's out. This will not be a power start. We're going to have all 10 skaters out. And on the jammer line, we're going to see Burgee Knights up against Busy Hummingbird. Busy working on the outside line, coming in toward the center and inside line. While Burgee works on the front, same motion. These tripods are fantastic, just swinging left and right to keep in front of the jammer. Lead jammer, V-Town. Burgee Knights reapproaching. Some offensive help a little bit here. Busy's back out. And that's the jam. Burgee saw Busy coming, called off the jam, made sure no points up for Gray. That's 2 points. V-Town, which now gives us a lead change.
So I'm not sure if people out there watching this on YouTube and Facebook could hear that, but it sounded like there was some sort of pelican or other wildlife making noise. It was actually just V-Town cheering for their jammer. I got very concerned for a moment. I was like, who let a bird in? Do we need to take a time out to find that bird? No.
What local wildlife do they have in Tucson? On the track, though, Dread Mooner. Dread picks up a lead jammer.
Dread working through that pack. Being assessed a back block penalty. So we'll be spending the penalty time there in that RollerCon penalty box. Meanwhile, Boomer, I believe.
Yep, Mooner out. This will be a power jam as well as a lost lead. So we're going to go 2 minutes on this jam.
Mooner working past those last 2 blockers as 2 becomes 3. But past them, she does. So that is 4 points for Mooner.
Mooner doing a good job stretching the blockers forward. Happy Valley had the pack in the back for a moment until the skater went out of bounds. Mooner able to push forward, forces the out of play, springs loose, 4 points. Does it again here. Not as much physicality needed, though. 4 more points on the board, both teams, because Dread's back. Pack picking up speed. Everybody trying to stay in front. Mooner approaches, hits the V-Town blockers. Here's Dread working the Happy Valley blockers. So there's your split pack again between turns number 4 and 1. We're back in the start box. Mooner comes out, though, 4 more on the board.
Jared working to clear that last set of blockers there.
Just knocked down at the last second. Mooner working. Got most of the blockers kind of bunched up. That's 2 minutes. That's the jam. 4 more going up, 2 more going up. Looks like an 18-8 jam for the Molly Morbids. Happy Valley takes the lead. On the jammer line, Taylor Swift against Hypnocotherapy.
A little bit of fast feet there, repositioning, trying to psych out the blockers from the other team.
It's interesting, too, the different starts there. Kayla started back at the speed position about 15 feet behind the line, while Hypnocket was just on the line moving laterally. Hypnocket, though, picks up lead. Happy Valley. And forearm block's going to send the V-Town blocker to the box. Hypnocket puts 4 points on the board. There it was again. V-Town blockers headed to the box for 2 penalties. Again, not able to exit the track the way the refs wanted it. Both jammers in. Hypnocket able to put up 4 more points. Kaler at the start, stashed for a moment, but able to come out of the pack. Hypnocket calls off the jam.
3 minutes remain on that clock. Molly Morbids currently sitting at 68 to the Dames 52.
Big shout out to the officials here and the coaching staffs. 3 minutes left. This game is flying. Minimal game stoppages.
My goodness.
That's how you get the best.
It feels like we just sat down.
On the jammer line, number 316, that's Riveter Rosie, up against number 223, that's Valkyrie Vixen. No pack called and a penalty call, but that's going to be good for Valkyrie Vixen. Picks up lead. And it looks like a high block that's going to go ahead and send a Happy Valley blocker to the box. That's Pearl of Scars.
Well, Pearl of Scars will be joined by another V-Town blocker as well.
Valkyrie Vixen comes through, able to pass enough, picks up the 4 points, calls off the jam. So nice, fast 4-point jam there. It's going to leave under 2 minutes going into jam number 21. And that looks like Talia up against Busy Hummingbird. So we've got 2 V-Town blockers out, 3 Happy Valley on the track, all the blockers setting up near the pivot line. So we're going to see if we have an old school start. As quickly as I say that, Happy Valley's blockers come back. Talia able to take the inside line, might have been opened up by Busy, picks up lead, V-Town. Busy with a great shoulder block into a toe hop on turn number 3, is able to spring initial pass. Talia looks up, notices where Busy is.
Ooh. Oh, goodness. A little bit of a pileup over there on turn 3. Sends the pivot for Happy Valley into that penalty box. Talia able to squeak through there, picks up another 4 points for V-Town.
Give Talia some credit there, took a big hit. Talia's shorter jammer did run into a few blockers, almost looked like elbows, popped back up, did not call off the jam, and kept running. So able to put 4 more points on the board.
Talia utilizing that speed that she's been picking up as she's just racking up 4 points after 4 points, squeaks through for another 4.
Great
and
juke.
Does it yet again.
Talia's working that juke motion, able to go from the outside in. 4 more on the board. Major hit right at the pivot line.
And Talia calls it off, but not before putting 16 on the board. Only able to respond for 4 points from Happy Valley.
Halftime. So going into the half, 21 jams there, but the score only, it's hard to say only here, but for 21 jams, 74 for Happy Valley's Molly Morbids, 68 for V-Town's Dames. This can still go easily either direction at half.
That is 8 points. That is an 8-point differential with another 30 minutes of roller derby still to play. Click.
Well, Happy Valley's ready.
Yeah.
There's V-Town, they're ready.
I think they're all more ready than me, at least. So some really fascinating things happening thus far with jammers, penalties, things along those lines. We're split fairly evenly with which team has received lead jammer. I think we're sitting at like 9 or 10 to 10. There's one jam we weren't totally sure about from our wonderful production, Joe. But gosh, I mean, I feel like the big thing is number 11 right out there right now with the star in for is Talia. So far, 80% lead jammer status.
Nice efficiency, right? Take it when you can get it. It also sounds like we have a skater foul out too in the first half for Happy Valley. So Suki Slaphouse out. So that's one of those. Suki did take the star at one point as a jammer. So again, you mentioned it earlier in the first half. What's the change-up going to be at halftime?
Yeah.
So it looks like team starting out here with Hypnocotherapy up against, you mentioned it, Talia on the jammer line to start.
So in both teams, what is it? 4 jammer rotation, 5 jammer rotation. So Talia, obviously very effective in the first half, picking up lead jammer status now. The first jam of the first half was the only point in time that she did not receive lead jammer status. So obviously she doesn't want that to happen again.
Already did it here, keeping that streak going in, putting 4 points up on the board to start the second half.
Hypnocket is cleared that initial pass.
And V-Town sending a blocker to the box with Talia calling off the jam. Looks like we're going to have a pack advantage for Happy Valley to start out the next jam.
8 points there for V-Town.
And on the jammer line, we're looking at Virgie Knights up against Valkyrie Vixen.
We have a tied game right now. Remember how I said that was 8-point difference? It's a tied game now. It is 76-76.
Quick comeback, I like it. And Valkyrie Vixen, lane 4, toe stop work. Wow, on that straightaway. Just not blocked out quite to the line. Lead jammer, Happy Valley. Good move by Valkyrie Vixen there. Just had knocked out a couple, it looked like 2 wheels. The front wheels might have gone out of bounds. Safely comes back in, avoids the cut, calls off the jam. 3 points on the board. Excuse me, 4 points. All 4 going on the board.
Dread out there with the star for V-Town. Happy Valley, that is 2-2-3 Valkyrie Vixen.
So Valkyrie Vixen, back-to-back jammer. And we're off with Dread just right into the Happy Valley blockers. The pivot, the brace holding. Valkyrie Vixen picks up lead. Vixen reapproaching, working from lane 3, slides to lane 4. One more set. That's 4 points on the board. And Dread is out at turn 2, out of the pack. Applying pressure. Vixen takes the call from the bench, calls off the jam. No points. So again, a good move by Happy Valley. Vixen able to pick up lead, put some points on the board. And on the next jam, we're looking at Kaylor Swift up against Busy Butterfly.
So like you were talking about, so we're at an 8-point difference. Again, it's just swung the other direction. I don't think anyone has scored more than 12 points. 18. 18 points has been the highest scoring jam so far.
I was going to say 16, I thought in my head at one point, but yeah, Joe got us on that one there with the production. And I apologize, it's Busy Hummingbird, not Busy Butterfly. I apologize for misnaming. Looks like lead jammer, V-Town, Kaylor Swift. Kaylor with some great footwork on the outside line, edge work on the curve. Curve 1 to 2, just barely knocked out of bounds. Has to call off the jam, but 4 points going on the board for White.
V-Town's jammers that seem to be the most successful, there you go, words. Words happen when I mouth things. It seems like the most successful jammers thus far for V-Town they appear to be a little bit shorter in stature. Because there's a lot of crouching as they go through groups.
Get that matchup difference that can make a difference every so often. On the jammer line this jam, we've got Mooner up against Riveter Rosie. Riveter Rosie picking up lead with an on-deck Happy Valley blocking. 4 points, V-Town. Riveter Rosie approaches the one Happy Valley blocker out, passes one blocker, picks up 4 points for the 3 not on the tracks.
And there is the star back on Mooner.
So successful star pass to complete initial. Riveter Rosie knocked out at the last possible moment. Cookie.
It's always so helpful when the skaters can assist us. We appreciate that.
Careful to not coach, and you're like, the skaters aren't listening. Then you get a moment like that, and you're like, yes, they are.
Yes,
and I appreciate it.
And so 11 points there go 84 to 91. Just over 5 minutes into this second half.
And on the jammer line, Talia up against Hypnotic Therapy. So we've talked about Talia's efficiency so far in this game. Hypnotic coming, knocked out, recycle. Hypnotic Therapy, though, is able to break the streak, picks up lead. And looks like a direction. Both jammers out.
A little bit of a race going on now, and it's just a matter of when is it going to be called? Meanwhile, the rest of the pack is just skating for their lives.
Hypnotic Therapy got a call from the bench. Just take as much time as you need there. I'm not going to lie, isn't it now? Make Hypnotic as a jammer, especially a lead jammer, because she has a very distinct, I'm going to be calling it soon motion, so I'm not caught off guard. And I appreciate that. On the jammer line, 831, that's Busy Hummingbird. Against 240, that's Bergy Knights.
Both teams have pivots in the RollerCon penalty box.
And that changed.
Yep, because I said so. As soon as I say anything.
Busy Hummingbird hopped through. Both jammers came out at just about the right time. Nice hit. So it looks like, yes, that is going to be Bergy Knights is going to have lead. Knocked out of bounds, though, recycled, calls off the jam, 0-0 jam.
These, the V-Town jammers, I mean, let's be realistic. Both V-Town and the Happy Valley jammers have such good track awareness as well as jammer awareness to not only where they need to be, but where the opposing jammer is, to be able to take that into account for whether it's I want to keep going, I'm going to wait.
Definitely haven't seen anybody sneak up on the lead jammer so far, you're right.
Nope.
On the jammer line, Valkyrie Vixen against Kaylor Swift. And this is going to be a power jam to the lead jammer on V-Town, Kaylor Swift. Valkyrie Vixen called on a high block going to the penalty box.
I heard another whistle.
Yep, looks like it's going to send Happy Valley's Pivot Cookie to the box. 4 points on the board for V-Town. So you mentioned earlier about the lower jammers. I'm starting to get some back pain because some of the shorter jammers against the taller blockers, there's some big hits going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
Kaylor's back on the track. Trying
Like
to
right there. Just right under the arms. So pretty.
Apex hop on turn 4. Calls off the jam. 4 more points on the board. So it looks like a good 8-point jam for the Danes. Puts us at 99, V-Town 88, Happy Valley with about 21 minutes left.
How many lead changes have we had?
As Joe figures that out, Mooner versus Riveter Rosie on the line. Mooner stretching the defenders forward, picks up lead. Yep. Drew the out of play and the out of play block, so we're now going to get a penalty. Mooner has lead. Happy Valley approaching, trying to pick up points. And now it looks like Mooner's going to have a power jam as well. Riveter Rosie headed to the box with a track cut. Mooner coming in.
Another 4 points there. Another 4 points there. Another 4 for Mooner as they clear that pack. I was just told that we have had 7 lead changes in this bout already in 40 minutes of gameplay. That is a lead change basically every 5 minutes. Mooner finding that inside line, picking up another 4 points for Happy Valley.
Mooner had a little bit of a pack advantage accidentally there. Jim Nasty, the blocker for Happy Valley, for V-Town, had an equipment issue, left off the track for a while. Timeout call, V-Town.
And I think that is lead change number 8 there. Happy Valley picking up 16 points, sitting at 104. V-Town at 99.
8 lead changes, plenty of sips of water, make sure everybody stays nice and hydrated. So it looks like actually coming into this jam, this is going to be jam number 10 for the second half. We are going to have a power start for Hypnotic Therapy. V-Town's going to start with the jammer in the box.
I'm a big fan of numbers. I was just told Mooner has the 3 biggest jams, 18, 16, and 13 points for Happy Valley.
I think it's safe to say Mooner also has the biggest cheering section also right now.
That is very accurate. So now I want to know who's got the biggest jams for V-Town. Of course, it's Talia. Talia with 16. Last jam of the first half. That was a very good last jam. Talia is also tied for second with 11 points with Riveter Rosie. They both scored 11 points.
So a little bit of a discussion between our ref crew to make sure everything's on the line here. So it is day 2 of Dust Devil 2019.
No, it's not. It's day 1 still.
Game 2. And boy, are my arms tired. So game 2, day 1 of Dust Devil 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament. Actually, I believe the 3rd one this season. And so in this tournament, we are seeing an awesome lineup set up by our hosts, Tucson Roller Derby. Includes teams from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Fort Collins, Colorado, Humboldt County, California, Minneapolis, Southern California, Tucson, Arizona, Utah County, Utah, and Visalia, California, as well as junior teams from Las Vegas, Los Alamos, and Tucson. All right, so it looks like everything's good to go with Hypnocket Therapy on the jammer line.
And this is going to be a power jam for Hypnocket because that is a V-Town jammer. That is Riveter Rosie in the RollerCon penalty box.
Hypnocket Therapy just grabbing Orange Crusher blocker just as a battering ram, pushing, clearing up lane 1, picking up lead. And with the pack moving full speed, it looks like we're going to lose a Happy Valley blocker to the box with a track cut penalty.
Hypnocket stuck behind that tripod of blockers in white.
Happy Valley with some passive defense that turned, some passive offense that turned into a tripod to go ahead and stop Riveter Rosie coming out of the penalty box. Hypnocket's trying the outside line. Door is closed. Great block. Looks like Busty Chops who had the shove out there, the recycle.
If you've got the chops, you might as well use them.
Hypnocket with a Jersey whip. One more blocker to beat. There we go. 4 points on the board. Multiplayer block's going to send Orange Crusher to the box. Hypnocket Therapy just knocked out of bounds on lane 4. Riveter clears initial pass. Everybody's in scoring position. And Hypnocket calls off the jam.
But not before picking up 4 points.
Well done. On the jammer.
I kept expecting to see that number go up as soon as I said 4. So
it felt like more passes, didn't it?
It did.
That's exactly what I was doing, the same thing. On the jammer line, Talia against Valkyrie Vixen. Talia trying to build on that hot lead jam percentage. But no, headed to the box. Illegal contact penalty.
So this will be a power jam for Happy Valley.
And Vixen picks up lead. Vixen coming through the straightaway past the jam line, gives a motion to her blockers, and everybody picks up. Here we go with a moving pack. Vixen splits through, puts up 4 points.
Nice assist there by Orange Crusher for Happy Valley.
And a good block against Talia coming out of the box by Orange Crusher as well. Vixen's through, 4 more on the board for the Molly Morbids in gray. Nice spin move on the inside line. 4 more up, and Talia's headed to the box again, with this time with a track cut.
Another power jam.
So Vixen decides to call off the jam, icing Talia in the box for the next jam. And coming out for the power start, we're seeing Busy Hummingbird.
So this is the second time that we have seen Happy Valley call it off with the V-Town Jammer in the penalty box.
And we're off with a pack advantage for V-Town. Busy pushed out of bounds, recycled back to the beginning of turn 4. Offensive blocking help. One more blocker to beat for lead. Lead jammer.
However, that gave Talia enough time to vacate that penalty box and clear her initial pass as well.
Busy knocked to the ground. Looked like the blocker made the hit, was called on a forearm. Busy was knocked out of bounds, calls off the jam. So 2 points on the board on that pass. So after 2 jams with the power, I believe they both had a power start. We have Mooner on the line up against Bergy Knights.
Happy Valley slowly inching up that lead that they have established. Both jammers, one to the inside, one to the outside. But that is Happy Valley picking up a lead jammer. Mooner.
Happy Valley again, power jam. As Bergy heads to the box with a track cut. Mooner able to take advantage of the power jam, starts it off with 4 points. Just tried the apex hop, barely knocked down. Recycles back with a little offensive help by Wild Child. Mooner able to stay inside after the shoulder block, 4 more points.
Mooner being encouraged in form of yelling by her teammates.
Bergy Knights back on the track. Mooner able to take advantage of a little bit of a scrum on turn 1. 4 more points on the board. Happy Valley. Mooner coming outside. Backside straightaway. 4 more points.
Mooner so far picking up 16.
And Mooner's going to be headed to the box. Looks like a friendly fire hit. Took her to the track. And then staying down, took out a blocker. It's going to be a low block. Power jam. And now a power start for V-Town.
These last 4 or 5 jams have all had either power starts or multiple power jams during them. This is the 6th jam in a row with some form of jammer penalty.
That sounds like a great time to call a timeout. So V-Town went ahead and did that because that was a smart move. Settle everybody down.
Figure out what needs to change.
Ask your jammers how many penalties they have.
Yep. Hopefully you have someone keeping track of that as well.
And a big shout out to our track maintenance crew out here today, making sure the yellow stripe is set and everybody's safe.
I like the fact that you can tell who they are because they're the ones that have the yellow tape literally taped to themselves already.
This is one of my favorite things that I see. I only see it in Tucson too. It could be on others that I see streaming, but yeah, they'll have the stripes just right there in the lane, just pop and go. Love the efficiency. Well, if you've got a power start and you're happy, you're V-Town, who do you put on the line?
Talia.
Yep. All right, we're off. The Happy Valley blocker setting up to a frontside position. Talia is able to pick up lead. Nice little apex hop, kind of a stretch step. Happy Valley dropping 2 blockers. Out of play called. So that was a good out-of-play push by Happy Valley also there. It added a lot of time to that pass.
It did.
Able to help with the penalty kill.
Mooner released from that penalty box now. They're doing stuff on the other side of people. I can't see what's going on.
Track cut. Somebody's going to the box. And it looks like that's going to be the V-Town pivot, number 36. Mooner's through after getting back on the track. Talia getting points. Calls the jam.
Well, it looks like that is 4 points there for V-Town. 10.5 minutes remaining in this second half. V-Town sitting at 103 to Happy Valley's 139.
On the jammer line, Dread against Hypnotic Therapy. And Dread's able to get out, picks up lead, but just caught on the backside by a blocker, able to come through. Lead jammer, V-Town.
Both jammers cleared that initial pass now. Dread calling it off, seeing Happy Valley working their way through.
3 points on the board before Dread calls it off. On the jammer line, going into jam number 16 in the second half, Valkyrie Vixen against Kaylor Swift.
Kaylor Swift giving those blockers a run for their money. But that lead jammer goes to Valkyrie Vixen.
Guessing Valkyrie Vixen, a little bit of an issue with the star cover was adjusting it, but kept lead, so there was no removal. So Vixen is lead, and it is 4 points up. Kaylor Swift with a slide through turn 2, knocked out of bounds, recycled back before turn 1. Vixen comes through, 4 more on the board.
Kaylor Swift clears that initial pass.
Valkyrie saw her coming, calls the jam. 3 more going up. So I believe that's an 11-point jam for the Molly Morbids. So it looks like Cookie from Happy Valley is going to be headed to the locker room for a moment. Foul out. On the jammer line, Busy Hummingbird up against Riveter Rosie.
Oh, nice little spin on the inside there. Busy keeping in bounds, picking up that lead jammer.
Hummingbird from the inside line, works to the outside, calls the jam, looks like 1 point on before being knocked out of bounds.
Six minutes, 45 seconds remain. V-Town at 106, Happy Valley 151. Back out there with the star for V-Town is Talia.
up against hip knocket therapy.
They're two highest scoring jammers for each team, I believe. I'm wrong. Mooner. Why? How did I forget about Mooner?
But hip knocket does have lead, so going to go ahead and try to take Mooner's spot. And Knocket approached. Saw Talia coming, calls off the jam. It's a 0-0 jam.
Goose eggs to everyone.
And remember, that's a scoreless jam, not a pointless jam.
They're never pointless.
Never. On the jammer line, Mooner.
Hey, look, it's Mooner.
Versus.
That is 2-4-0. Virgie Knights.
Thought you had me there. Virgie Knights comes through, picks up lead. Mooner's got the star off the helmet. Stash the star, finishes initial pass. Virgie's picking up points, though.
And Virgie Knights calls it off, but does put 4 points on the board for V-Town.
And I believe we're going to take a little breather. I could be wrong. We'll find out. On the jammer line, we see Dread versus Valkyrie Vixen.
Jam number 20. So we had 21 jams the first half. And we still have another 4 minutes. There were a multitude of whistles happening. It looks like Dread being assessed a track cut penalty. This is going to give
Valkyrie Vixen lead and a power jam. 4 points, Happy Valley.
Valkyrie Vixen being smart, recycling back behind the pack. Doesn't want to pick up anything, wants to keep scoring those points.
V-Town performing a blocker's favorite thing to do to the jammers, knocked out, recycled, and building a waterfall. The best kind of move when you're on the backside, let the jammer just pick up a blocker every 10 feet. Dread's back on the track and in the middle of the Happy Valley defense. Offensive help comes, takes the outside line, knocked out of bounds at the last second.
Oh. Doesn't look like Dread, looks like Dread stayed in bounds.
I think the blocker who went with Dread was called on a low block also.
Oh.
Yep. Jam called.
And team timeout being called by V-Town. 2 minutes, 44 seconds. 8 points picked up there for Happy Valley. Slowly increasing that lead to 159 to V-Town's 110.
So it looks like just under 3 minutes left in this jam. After this game, it's going to be FOCO against Humboldt County.
Wait, there's more roller derby?
There's a lot more roller derby. I believe 12 games after this.
Ooh.
What a weekend.
Wait, it's a whole weekend of roller derby?
Well, I mean, I already said today was day 2, so I'm not sure I'm the best indicator on that information right now.
I mean, for the record, you also did think that this was only 2 days, so...
Okay, that was totally off the record and only in the announcer Facebook group.
I'm not above throwing you under the bus, my friend.
And that's the end of the timeout. So it looks like Valkyrie Vixen's actually going to serve a penalty in the box. This is going to go ahead and give Riveter Rosie a power start.
The whole entire Happy Valley, anyone that can be in the penalty box legally is right now. They have one skater, they're pitted on the track.
Olivia Wildchild doing her best to go ahead and hold down the defense, but it's just too much. Riveter Rosie picks up lead. Wildchild pushing. Yep, 4 points on the board.
Riveter Rosie uses that outside line, picks up another 4 for V-Town. Definitely what V-Town wants to see at this point is the ability to pick up those points, hopefully cut down on that lead that Happy Valley has. But Valkyrie Vixen is out of that penalty box and ready to fight for points.
Riveter Rosie with a nice inside move on the inside line of lane 4, able to pick up the 4 points while calling off the jam.
So that was 12 points total, putting them at 122.
And it looks like we've got an official review being used as a timeout by V-Town. That's going to be their last clock stoppage with 1:41 left in the game.
It's a draw ring.
On the jammer line, Hypnocket against Talia.
A minute and a half on that period clock. What could potentially be the one of our last few jams.
Talia comes outside line into the center, stretching the Happy Valley defense. Lead jam.
Ooh. That was a little bob and weave right there by Talia to avoid being hit by one of those blockers.
Hypnocket comes out of the pack also. Talia's hard coming, calls off the jam, so we are going to have at least one more jam. As Busy Hummingbird takes the jammer line versus Bergie Knights.
A nice attempt there to clear that outside line. Unfortunately, Busy does meet with a few blockers.
Almost looked like they might have been kind of baiting her out there. That lane 4 was wide open until all of a sudden it wasn't. Lead jammer, V-Town.
Bergie Knights.
We got plenty of whistles, 2 blockers, 1 for each team headed to the box. There's Bergie coming through, 4 points on the board.
The period clock has ended, but the jam clock is still going.
So this is what you want. If you're V-Town there, you want that last jam, you want to have lead, you want to get the points up. There's 4 more on the board. So Bergie running, trying to cut in as much as possible. Busy's out of the pack. Bergie knocked out of bounds, calls off the jam. No points on that last pass. Waiting on the final whistle.
Mm-hmm. We didn't just stop talking because there's no action. So unofficial final right now, 1:31:59.
Now it's official.
And there we go. So V-Town with 130, picking up 8 points that last jam, holding Happy Valley scoreless at 159.
So not a bad 29-point spread to end the game. We'd seen it through most of the game. Real back and forth. Penalties were pretty close. Leads were real close going into the second half.
A multitude of lead changes throughout the whole entire thing. A few foul outs, as it happens.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that in the first game, especially in a tournament, sometimes it's just kind of acclimating. Yeah, obviously you don't want to foul out of the game, but sometimes you got to acclimate to the reffing, the way it's going to be called.
Right. And I mean, let's not even talk about the floor. If this, if this isn't a floor that you're used to, that in and of itself is going to take a while to get used to.
Exactly. So that concludes game number 2, day 1. Game 2 of Dust Devil. With a final score, the Molly Morbids of Happy Valley 159 against the Derby Dames of B-Town 130. I'll see you a little bit later on.
This has been fun.
It has been. My name is Party on Barth.
I am Loose Change.
Have a wonderful afternoon. I'll be right back.